Alrighty, good morning, good morning, good morning. Am I on the right live stream?
That feels good! Baby! That feels good! Baby!
Okay, so seems like the other link kind of got messed up a tad bit. Could people let the other people know that we are doing the live on this stream link instead? I'm just gonna go ahead and
That feels good!
how's it going, Wolvie? Alrighty, let's do a quick mic check. Testing, 1, 2, 3. We have a lot to talk about today. Several altcoins to talk about. Taking altcoin requests too, so smash the likes. How's it going, Steve? Could it be altcoin bull market time? I don't know, man. All's up pumping. Some of my signals have been triggering for a nice 4-week run. These are like the hot signals I'm talking about. When things are about to get hot. These go off like once every 6 months. So again, don't have confirmation just yet, but they're beginning to go off. How's it going, Sherwin? I mean, Sherwin's here. Guys, Sherwin's here. Things must be getting heated up. Ben is in here too. Again, mic check. Is everything okay? And we got Krisha in here too. All right. Are we good to go? I think it's time I pour myself the mango drinks again. Sit back, kick back, mango lounge. Yeah, let's do it. It's Steven who got me to FOMO. How's it going, Billy? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Alrighty. Are we ready? Let's pop out the chat so I can keep an eye on what you guys are saying. I'm going to turn down the volume just a tad bit. Going to get my charts ready. And there we go. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is Sean Dexter, and holy crap, I'm way too big, man. There we go. There we go. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is Sean Dexter, and welcome you guys back to yet another Mango live stream. Okay, Ethereum, SUI, XRP, and of course the big daddy, Bitcoin. We're going to be talking about that today, and we're going to be taking some altcoin requests too. And because of that, we're going to have to kind of speed through a lot of what I want to talk about, right? So today we're going to be going fast, because usually I end up spending way too much time on Bitcoin. So we're going to start with the altcoins that I want to talk about, and then lead up to Bitcoin, and then we're going to go into the altcoin requests. I find that once I start talking about Bitcoin, I don't want to stop, because Bitcoin does end up being the crux of everything. I expect you guys to just figure out everything else if you guys understand Bitcoin, which is not fair. So with that, let's jump right into it. I do want to start off with the crypto fear and greed. And what do you guys know? Even though we have Ethereum sitting at $4,200, crypto fear and greed 58. In fact, I think a few days ago it was sitting at around like 50-ish, right? Can you zoom in on this? Actually, yeah, we can. We can. So this is a 30-day crypto fear and greed. Yeah, 48. 48. Yeah, went all the way down to 48. Not bad. Not freaking bad. He's a Giga Chad holder, I recall. Are you talking about me? Yes, I've been Giga has been one of the most volatile, fun, trendy charts to be trading. Giga, SPX 6900. Yeah, great coins to trade. Sean, move the chat up. Oh shit. No, let's move me up. Let's do that. Let's do that. Oops. What's this? God damn it. There we go. Is that good? Actually, no. Let's keep it here. Let's keep it down here. Okay. Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah, that's good. Okay. So, crypto fear and greed, guys, this has been oddly very, very useful. Very, very useful. If you just like, we haven't, okay, what this is telling me, if we can trust these metrics, which I've been keeping an eye on them, and they've been, you know, I don't want to say that they're accurate. What I do want to say is that they're useful to keep an eye on, to help guide our decision making when we are feeling that doubt as to whether or not we should be taking profits on coins that are extremely speculative, mid-bull cycle, or whether or not we should hold on, right? And for example, just looking at Bitcoin over here, if you scroll or hover your cursor in this region over here, the greed region, right? When things are between 80 to 100, it's considered extreme greed. You can see that it peaked around the same time. Bitcoin peaked at around 71,000, right? So it's going to be hard to judge, because if you try to get too cute with this, I just want to put this out there, guys. Okay, for those of you who are trying to use this as a timing signal, understand that if you try to get too cute with this, right about here, around I think end of Feb, Bitcoin was sitting at around let's say $60,000, and crypto fear and greed hit extreme greed. Bitcoin rallied another $10,000 before we actually topped. So make sure that you're not using this as the exact signal, but kind of regions where you can start scaling out or scaling in, right? Over here too was a good time to start scaling in, but Bitcoin went down a tad bit lower before actually bouncing off the lows, right? So use this as just as a guide. And now again, this is telling us that we're still neutral. Crypto fear and greed is still neutral. Things aren't too crazy just yet, and I'm pretty sure you guys are all coming to the same conclusion by just looking around you, right? People aren't all that excited yet. You're not getting your friends and family calling up and asking, hey, which coin should I buy? Because I missed the Bitcoin rally, I missed the Ethereum rally, and I missed the XRP rally too. What should I buy next? When you get those kind of calls, understand that we're probably at the late stages of the 6-month cycle. And you guys know that Mango, we don't like to play the whole 4-year cycle nonsense. While it is legit, it's not actionable, right? So let's get on to the coins, the updates. We're going to start with SUI. Now, I'm going to take a sip. My drink first. I've done 2 SUI videos recently. I took a trade based off the breakout over here of this cup and handle kind of formation. I don't want to call it cup and handle. It's more like a W-ish inverted Adam and Eve. Honestly, the name of the pattern does not matter to me. I'm not a pattern trader. I'm a trend trader. I don't care. All I care about is catching a big win. And the first video was essentially us trying to play for a breakout and break back into the range, which was a pattern, or rather a technique that we've been using for the entirety of the cycle, right? Where essentially, just because you break out of range does not mean the coin can't break back into the range. So we allowed for that to happen. However, we were using a 12-hour dynamic as our bid point. We got invalidated on the idea because, let's go back to SUI. I'm going to show you guys that if you switch on to the 12-hour time frame and turn on your dynamic right over here, you can see that right over here, right, we close under. Now, we allowed for price to break back into the range. We were looking for the 12-hour to hold. The 12-hour did not hold. That is not a reflection on me. That's a reflection on the asset, right? You guys need to understand that Far too many people think that just because your trade does not work out, it's a reflection on you. No, it's not a reflection on you. It's a reflection on the asset. The asset did not meet up to your expectations. You break up with the asset and you look to reposition once the asset starts behaving again, okay? It's just like anything in life. Your relationships, you have an expectation. People in your life need to live up to those expectations or you break up with those people, right? Of course, your relationships need to be, your expectations need to be reasonable. You can't have unreasonable expectations. Now, when it comes to trading assets, based on what you're expecting out of the asset, you need to have reasonable expectations. If it's a long-term trade, you need to allow for the asset to pull down further. Now, the way I wanted to trade SUI was that, okay, I don't know whether this is going to bounce right off the 12-hour dynamic or keep going. So I wanna be able to position for that if it does do that, right? So we took the trade there. It did not work out. We exited immediately because it did not meet our expectations. But that doesn't mean that I am expecting this to go to zero just because it lost the 12-hour dynamic. I'm like, okay, guys, okay, just now that it has lost the 12-hour dynamic, I'm going to pull back and I'm going to look towards the longer term expectations for this asset, which is going to be the higher time frames. So what we did was we marked out a 2-day. Oops, let me pause that. We marked out the 2-day dynamic level as well as the 4-day dynamic level, and we drew out this. Go ahead and watch this video. That'd be the best way. I don't want to summarize every single thing. We marked out this zone, right? And you guys can see that price, essentially, if we switch on to the 4-day time frame, price did exact. This is what I mean by an asset living up to your expectations, right? I'm going to go ahead and clear out the dynamic just for a tad bit so you guys can focus on the zones. I'm going to delete this over here too. We don't need that anymore. We marked out this zone in the video, right? I broke it down for you guys step by step. And what do you know? Price came down, wicked off the bottom of the zone and closed above the zone. Now, it did not need to close above the zone for our criteria to hold, but the fact that it did, right? It's showing really good behavior. That's the kind of behavior you want to see. So wicked into the bottom of the zone, closed above the zone, and now we got a retest into the middle of the zone and close well above the zone, right? That is good behavior, okay? This makes me want to continue to accumulate on opportunities that I do see. We also have this rising trend line of high lows that we can maintain or keep an eye on. We don't want this to break down this way, right? We don't want it to break down. That would mean that that trend line, that high-low structure is violated. What you guys can essentially do if you're, again, just looking at pure trend, use this low, right? If we start seeing candle closes underneath this red zone over here, which is lining up with that low that got put in, how beautiful is that, by the way? We drew in the zone before that low was put in, and now that zone essentially coincides with our new invalidation point for this trend, right? I love TA. It makes things so clear for you. It gives you an actionable way to manage your risk. You're not confused. You're not wondering, should I hold? Should I sell? I've given up so much profits already. What should I do? No, you're stress-free the entire time. That's what TA brings to the table. That's what people don't understand. TA is not about figuring out how rich you're going to be. TA is a methodology that allows you to manage your risk and you become rich as a consequence, right? Just focus on that. I'm managing my risk, I'm managing my risk, I'm managing my risk. Whoa, I'm rich. That's how it played out, guys. Trust me, anyone who is a real investor, real trader they'll never admit it out loud in the interviews, etc., right? Because that doesn't sell. But becoming rich is just a consequence of all of these red zones to the downside, not these upside targets, right? Again, when we traded SUI from here, around 85 cents, all the way here, I had an upside target of 7 to 750. It did not hit. What made me play this so well, or made me so happy, what made this a great trade, was the fact that I exited over here, right? Then I was allowed to reposition when I was ready. Over here, though, when we played it from around 50 cents to $2, everything played out well. It was the perfect trade. Our target hit and our exit hit perfectly, right? But the target did not need to hit. All that matters is your exit. Your exit, I remember saying this to Krisha years ago, and she didn't fully get it. I'm like, the exit is always going to be more important than your target and your entry, for that matter. Okay. Hey, Julian, how's it going? So, yeah, that's the update on SUI, but we're not done yet. I do want to talk about what's going on the dashboard for SUI as well. SUI, remember guys, I was talking about Ethereum, but no one was talking about Ethereum. Okay, now everyone's talking about Ethereum because it's pumping. Similarly with SUI, I'm going to be saying the same thing to you guys in around 2 to 3 weeks. I don't know when, but SUI is looking freaking great. Okay, dashboard is blue across the board. Long, 4 days long, 1 days long, 12 hours long, 4 hours long. We got lots of blues, lots of greens. This is exactly what we want to see. I'm liking it. Yes, it's not in its impulsive move yet, but I've been enjoying collecting and accumulating a position on these mid/high caps that are very liquid, and then they explode, right? Did that with Ethereum, and now I'm going to do it with SUI. Could it be, I mean, don't hold me to this coming to fruition for sure, eh? Because if these things change, I'm changing. Like, I don't care if I'm wrong. I will change. So you guys need to keep an eye on this as well. I'll be giving you guys updates. Make sure that you hit the like and the subscribe, so that way when you do, and hit the notification icon too. So that way when the SUI video does come up, you guys aren't missing it, right? I've been keeping you guys updated, living up to my promises. All you guys need to do is make sure that you don't miss the video. So with that, SUI is looking great. I like the structure. You guys should too. Let's move on to the Ethereum chart right over here. Any questions though before I go on? Sean, can you look at C if possible? So SEI, from what I understand, I've traded it too myself, by the way, but most people seem to trade it as a catch-up trade to SUI. But the thing is, SUI hasn't really started running yet. So why would you guys buy SEI unless there's fundamental reasons for it, right? If it's pronounced say, okay, I say if say hasn't run yet, if SUI hasn't run yet, unless you guys have fundamental reasons to actually, let's take a look at the chart. I mean, should we do it right now? It's looking good. I mean, the TA is looking good too. So it looks exactly like SUI right now, eh? Yeah. We'll come back to this, man. I just want to go back to SUI so that way we have the chart here. I'd rather just buy this, man. Honestly, I'd rather just play this. Unless you really like the fundamentals, man. And don't fool yourself. Do not buy it just because it's cheaper. Do not buy it just because it has lower MCAP. You're much... If you have the ability, you're much better having higher position size on something that is less risky but more sure, versus having a low position size on something that is far more risky but less sure. I've made those mistakes when I first started in the space, and I get it. Some people just don't have the ability to do so, right? Which is why you need to hone in on the lower caps and try to go for the big win there. But even then, if you don't have the time and you don't know what you're new to the space, you're much better off going slow in the beginning on a surer thing, right? Versus gambling on something you're unsure of, right? For example, like what would you rather do? You really need to assess the whole picture and ask yourself, okay, if for example you're trying to make $20,000 quickly, okay, this sounds so bad, but let's say you're trying to make $20,000 really quick. What do you want to do? Do you want to put $100,000 into a coin like SUI and then make 20%? There's your $20,000. Or do you want to put $1,000 into a really low cap, small cap, whatever you want to call it, micro cap meme coin, $1,000 and 20x it into $20,000, right? So you can put $1,000 and 20x it and turn it into 20,000, or you could put $100,000 and just get a 20% and get your 20,000. To me, the latter is far less riskier, and far more sure, right? So the expected value is way higher over here. Now, the thing is, you need the capital for that, right? So if you have the capital, it's better to play it safe. And sometimes, most of the time actually, if you don't have the capital, it's still better to play safe and play for the longer term. let's move on because you guys don't want to hear this. Most of you guys don't want to hear this. SUI is looking great against USDT. How's it looking against Bitcoin? Weekly, still saying it's under consolidation, but it's getting there. I like it. Okay, back to ETH. Guys, I did a video on Ethereum as well. Please go ahead and watch it, but I'm going to give you guys a summary. I do not want to start with this chart over here. I'm going to start with this chart over here. It's an emptier chart. I want to mark out what's going on over here. We have this sloping trend line, the deviation over here. We have reclaimed the trend line, tested the trend line, and it looks like we're going to go ahead and we already tested the deviation. We're going to go ahead and test this dotted line over here, which is essentially our highs. This, guys, this is a technique I've been teaching for a while now over here. I know many of you guys may not be fully. Ben is here. He may understand. Ben, you still here? We've talked about this, man. There, Ben is right there. He's right there. Ben. Yeah, exactly. Ben remembers this setup. You know what to do, my man. You know what to do as a seedling. You should know what to do. So I really like what's going on over here on Ethereum. This is... Now, Ethereum has been in a weird position. Okay, I marked out this chart for you guys. I had my targets. You guys know I was bullish on Ethereum. Okay, you guys know I've been bullish on Ethereum ever since. So okay, I'm gonna take a step back. Ethereum was sitting up against resistance on USD, so we couldn't buy it without rationalizing it. And we rationalized it, believe it or not, as a Bitcoiner, I rationalized buying Ethereum based on the Bitcoin pairing. So ETH BTC gave me reason to buy Bitcoin, right? This is how I know I have come a long way in terms of mindset and psychology, because back in the day I used to make mistakes, and I'm able to break out of that mindset. And the things I preach to you guys allowed me to reinforce those ideas in myself, right? Hey, you can use a coin that is now beginning to outperform to collect the coin that you fundamentally believe in long term. You do not need to be stubborn and say, no, I'm only going to buy Bitcoin. If ETH BTC is doing fantastic, why would I not use it to collect more Bitcoin, right? So let's go ahead and talk about this chart. I posted this on the Discord, where we marked out this 12-hour trend line over here, which is essentially coming in from the 12-hour dynamic trend right over there, right? Now, we had the trend line, but the 12-hour dynamic was still holding. The way I wanted to play this, because again, we're sitting up against high time frame resistance, was I said this to you guys. I'm like, okay, we have this red box over here. This red box is not a bid zone. We want Ethereum to hold it though, okay? It did not hold it, which was bad, right? But it not holding it, right, was not reason to get bearish on the chart, because we still had higher time frame support over here, right, which was essentially the daily dynamic. Okay, so let me turn it on. I'm just assuming it to turn on. Okay, there you go. So bounce off the daily dynamic. It didn't just bounce off the daily dynamic though, guys. I'm going to clear this out again. You can see that it double bottomed, right? It put in a double bottom formation. Again, that's not enough, because you can double bottom, put in a lower high against your red box, which we had already marked out. Remember, the red box was, we wanted him to hold it for that 12-hour trend to hold. It did not hold it. Okay, so it could have bounced into the red box, and then you guys can't see this here because it's probably too light. Let me go ahead and darken it for you guys. Style, solid, blue. No. Thickness. Okay, let's do red. Okay, yeah. So it could have bounced into the red box, put in a low high, and broken down, right? So you can't just willy-nilly get excited over a double bottom bounce, because you don't know that it's an actual bounce or if it's just going to go ahead and put in a low high. What made it convincing was when it reclaimed the red box, retested it, and that was essentially a retest and close above it. That was a convincing close, and then you can see that we just ripped since then, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 beautiful green candles, outperforming Bitcoin over the past like 1 week now. No, actually, it's been outperforming ever since this entry over here. But over here, even though ETH USD was sitting up against resistance, we were allowed to buy Ethereum. We were able to rationalize it because Bitcoin looked good. Okay, so Bitcoin looked fantastic. Now, I have spare cash. I'm looking towards deploying. Bitcoin looks really good. Bitcoin's not sitting up against resistance. but ETH USD is. ETH looks good, but it's at resistance. Bitcoin looks good. It's not at resistance. ETH BTC looks fantastic. So logic tells me that if Bitcoin looks good and it's not at resistance, ETH BTC is looking great, which means ETH is looking to outperform Bitcoin. I don't need to bet everything on the ETH USD pairing. I can say that ETH is going to outperform Bitcoin, and if I want to buy Bitcoin, I should instead just buy ETH because ETH is going to outperform Bitcoin, right? So it doesn't matter whether ETH is sitting at resistance or not. One of two things is going to happen. ETH gets rejected at resistance. Bitcoin doesn't see its continuation at its range, and if Bitcoin goes down, ETH is going to go down less than Bitcoin. Does that make sense? So either way, I come out winning, because if I'm looking to deploy, I'm going to be deploying in an asset that either goes up higher or comes down lower. Does that make sense? Ask questions while you guys have me. Yo. Okay, so there's Ethereum update. ETH is looking fantastic. We can go on over to the dashboard, see what's going on with ETH. Long, but volatility is a tad bit high, so be a tad bit careful when pertaining to adding to your position. If you're looking to add into the breakout, which again, not here, but here. This is a setup that I like to play. If the volatility is higher, one good thing to do is reduce your position size on your ads. You should already be in, right, to the trade, so you're playing that momentum. Wall is higher though. ETH BTC, yep, same story. Yeah, you can find this on app.mangoresearch.co. Krisha, thank you for sharing the link. Beta Boss's question: When does it look as altcoin will top out? When does it look? I'm not playing it that way, man. I'm playing it per coin, and based on trend. And it's been working out fantastically for us for this entire cycle. We've not been trying to time anything. I think trying to time things comes... Like, what's been playing out for Mango really well since like 2019 is that we have deliberately not been trying to time things. And then in hindsight, we end up looking at things and we're like, hey, what do you know? We timed that perfectly. Because we've not been trying to time things and using objective indicators, we end up timing things better than everyone else. In hindsight, because we are just executing. We're not trying to be oracles over here. We're just looking at and we're not like doing anything special. It's a very simple methodology. You guys can do this. You guys can learn everything I know, by the way, in like 4 months. Okay, maximum 4 months, maximum. Okay, in terms of theory. In terms of psychology, it will be like 8 months of hard work. Okay. So in 1 year, you guys will be able to learn everything I know if you guys actually put in the work. I shit you not. It's kind of depressing sometimes to know that if someone actually puts in the hard work, you guys can learn everything I know in 1 year. And this, by the way, in my opinion, for the next 5 to 7 years, the most powerful skill you guys can have. And trust me, as a guy who spends a lot of time studying history, I can go into whatever field I want to, right? I mean, that sounds so pretentious. What I'm trying to say is that I study a lot of history, and I can choose various fields, and I've chosen this because I think this is by far the most lucrative field right now for this phase of our monetary cycle. And so you guys, you just put in the work, guys. Put in the work. All right. But can we learn it from you? How do we learn? Of course you can learn from you. So here's the thing. Do what Sherwin did. Sherwin watched every single one of these live streams. He's got, so in the Mango Discord, what Sherwin has done for the entire Mango community is back when he was in his learning phase, he went and timestamped every single one of the key lessons that he found valuable from the live streams, and he's gone in and put them in the you'll find it under Mango highlights. This is a gold mine of information. Again, you really got to thank Sherwin for doing this for us. And these videos go all the way back to 2021, I believe. I'm scrolling through them. Man, I'm wearing a bandana and stuff. Holy shit, that's such a different look back then. You guys want to see? Okay, I'm just going to show you a screenshot. Wow, this is taking me back. So yeah, this is what it looks like. Again, thanks to Sherwin. He put down the timestamps. Look at me. Hey, I gotta bring this look back. What do you guys think? Is your program like a one-to? No, it's not a one-to-one coaching program. That that would be impossible, right? But we do have every Thursdays we do have seed clubhouse session, where we have a live session where everybody joins in and everybody can ask questions. You can come on mic and ask questions too, or you could ask questions in the chat, or you could always, like, we have a private seed chat where everyone's asking questions all the time, and yeah. Okay, so ETH, fantastic, but this trade is already active. I'm focusing now on, while I will be focusing on the ETH trade as well, it's not going to be as like gung-ho, you know, I'm not going to be adding with big size. I think I'm going to keep an eye on this one, on SUI, like I mentioned to you guys, until it fails. If it fails, it fails, right? I'm just going to exit. I'm not going to care. I'm not going to let it affect my ego. I'll forget about it in like a day or two and move on to the next one. It just, when I am given an opportunity to exit a trade now and be wrong, it's not like the old me who's like, God damn it, I lost money in that. No, it's like, thank God now I get to go and buy Trader Frazier's great opportunity. Yeah, the other day in Seed, we were talking about a great trade. So Trader Frazier has been looking at this coin. I'm not going to name it just because I don't want people who are not in Seed to be looking at these kind of coins, which can be a tad bit more riskier, and you guys don't have our risk management system that we employ in Seed. So don't want to be, you know, if you guys are on Seed, you guys have access to a risk management system and you guys can put on trades safely. So we were talking about this coin for a while, or he's been talking about it for a while. And then there was this day where there was such a great opportunity on that coin. And I said, hey, Frazier, we should freaking sell the house and buy XYZ coin. That's how good it looked. But I did not have allocation to put into that coin because I have a risk system that I follow, right? So the only way I could put allocation into that coin is if I exit one of the coins I'm already in. And I'd be breaking my rules if I did that. So sometimes, where am I going with this? What I'm trying to say is, exiting a coin because you're wrong on it frees up allocation to put it into something else that probably does look good as well. Right? And you've been wanting to get into the coin, but you can't. And if, by the way, you guys are not in a position where you're like, oh man, I want to get into this coin, but I can't get into this coin, one of two things is happening. You're not putting in the hard work where you find lots of great opportunities, or two, you're buying everything you see. Both are wrong mindsets. Firstly, you got to put in the work to find opportunities. Two, you can't be buying every single thing. If you're buying every single thing, you're absolving yourself of responsibility to buy the things that you think are the strongest, or you aren't following a system that funnels you into a certain set of coins, right? Yeah. This game comes with one thing and one thing only: responsibility. Responsibility. That's all. Okay, enough of the lecture. Let's get on to Bitcoin now. We can finally get on to Bitcoin. Or do you guys want to talk about XRP first? Let's do Bitcoin, then we'll do XRP. Billy Bond says, Uggs, I've done that before, regrettably. Oh, that was me. We've all been there, man. We've all been there. Okay, so this is Bitcoin over here, guys. I've redrawn this chart. Now, this cup and handle is something that we drew all the way back in 2024, around July. April, actually. No way. Yeah, July. Yes, somewhere around here, right? And I tweeted about it, etc. We had targets. Now, however, we do have an update on this cup and handle because now it's turning into a cascading pattern. It's a cup and handle into a continuation pattern, which is an inverted head and shoulders pattern. This kind of thing is rare, but it's also validates a pattern and makes it far more powerful. So cup and handle, CNH, into an inverted head and shoulders continuation pattern. I do have 2 targets drawn out for you guys over here. The first target zone is coming at around 137 to around 147. Okay. The next target, if we can clear that, we're looking at around 185 to 203. I'd be looking towards this target first. Oh wait, I didn't talk about Ethereum targets, eh? For those of, again, I'm just going to quickly give you guys the ETH targets. My bad. I'm all over the place. ETH targets, first target is around 6,800. Next, we're looking at around 7.7 to 8.6. Then we're looking at around 13 to 15. And then after 10 years, we're looking at around $100,000. 10 years though, 10 years. Again, I'm just putting it out there. Okay, so that way, if I'm right on this, 10 years from now, I can come back and say, I told you so. If I'm wrong on this, no one's going to remember. So it's a win-win. But either way, I honestly don't think it's impossible. I don't think it's impossible. I can prove it. I can prove how it's possible mathematically. Either way. Bitcoin, though, in a live stream I put out like around a month ago, I think, I changed my long-term targets to around $750,000, or like around an 8-year target, $750,000 with a $250,000 correction on both sides, like error correction on both sides. So we're looking at a band of around $500,000 to $1 million, with 750 being like the base case. I think if you're buying Bitcoin long term and you don't care about short term volatility, where we may come down to around 80K, maybe 60K, that's a 5x target at minimum over 8 years. So for this cycle, though, as long as this pattern continues, we are looking at around 146 to 137 as our first target, 187 to around 200 as our second target. This pattern needs to continue, though, because if you want this continuation pattern to continue, we got to hold this trend line over here. Again, trend lines that are drawn like this are not objective, they're subjective. We're going to be using actual indicators, and we're going to come to that very, very soon. And if we hold this this momentum line, is what we can call it, we can see ourselves getting up there, right? We also can see ourselves breaking down over there, though. If this rising channel breaks to the upside, it's your rising wedge, which only triggers bearish if we break the trend, right? Rising wedge is bearish only because the trend breaks, by the way, not because of anything else. So yeah, looking good over here. Did want to talk about something else, but we can come back to that. Going back to the actual execution of this, you can draw out all of these huge targets to the upside, but these cyclical trades are useless if you can't execute on it, right? And that's where your mid time frames, your lower time frames come into play. And we have been following something very simple, where we identified on the last run up, we're like, hey guys, we've been using the 4-day, but we can make our lives a lot simpler by using the 2-day, because it gives us something just as good, but a little bit more actionable in terms of executing, right? We noticed that the 2-day was being respected on the way up. And by the way, SUI was the one that first gave us the big clue that, hey, SUI is following the 2-day. Bitcoin has been also following it, surprisingly enough. So let's keep an eye on the 2-day for Bitcoin. And then we noticed it worked out really well. So we can see, we rejected on the way down. Then we reclaimed it right over here. This big thumbs arrow, the finger pointy thingy, was your entry back into the trade. And then respected, still respecting it, right? Does this mean that this is a magic line that is automatically bidding Bitcoin? This magic line does not have any powers, guys. It does not have any buying power. All it's telling you is where the market seems to be respecting the high lows, right? It's an adaptive, powerful indicator that is telling you and figuring out where the market collectively is bidding on this trend, right? That's why you want to cycle through timeframes and figure out the time frame that is working for that particular asset. Bitcoin seems to be holding the 2-day. Now, as long as it's holding the 2-day, we want to keep playing it. And as long as it's holding this trend, I see it going all the way up to 144. Now, losing the 2-day does not mean it's the end of Bitcoin's cycle, not at all, because the 4-day technically is still holding as well. It's just not giving you as many opportunities to accumulate, right? Give you a great opportunity over here. You could say over here as well. And the 4-day was something that we were using until we figured out the 2-day. So Bitcoin only becomes worrisome, in my opinion, when we lose the bi-weekly dynamic, right? So that's coming in around $97,451. You could say that if you just want to go ahead and clear out everything over here, hide all of this, pull up a new chart completely, forgive me for the numbers. You don't want Bitcoin losing this zone over here, right? That would not be a good look. Of course, everyone would agree with that. But failing that, if you go on over to the 4-day, we have a zone over here too, right? You don't want this being lost either. So that's coming in around 101 to 97. Losing that, we see ourselves coming all the way down to 74. And at that point, we're looking at something like this, maybe deeper. By the way, I don't think this plays out this way. I don't think so. I'm just saying that be on guard for something like this. Okay, XRP now. What happened to the music? Exactly, Krisha. Getting a clean bear market signal at 100,000. Like, honestly, it won't be. You can't ask for a better cycle. I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest, if we see the next 4 to 6 weeks be absolutely bullish. People being late to the game, coming in around September, right? And remember, one of the easiest things to have been played for this entire cycle was get ready for some kind of market event on Krisha's birthday or my birthday, right? That 6-month period. And my birthday's coming up, first week of September. We got to add a 2-week band to that and say, okay, 2 weeks prior to Sean's birthday, 2 weeks after Sean's birthday we got to be cautious for that entire 4-week period, right? And you guys might be saying 4 weeks, that's a long time. Well, when you've been trading the cycle for 6 months, 4 weeks is nothing, right? So just get a tad bit cautious around that period, guys. We're going to be watching, got to be pay attention. A lot can be made in these 6 weeks leading up to that period. And we either see the market top or market bottom, right? If the market bottoms, it could be something like what we drew in. I don't know. I don't want it to come down to 75K. That's going to be a bad omen. I mean, losing the zone over here is not. We don't want Bitcoin losing the zone at this stage. Right? If it lost the zone over here, back somewhere around here, it would have been a lot more. It would have been fine, right? At this juncture, I don't want Bitcoin losing this zone. September rate cut event is no, Steve. It's like you're too late. That event is a non-factor right now. It's non-factor. Anyone playing that is like too late to the game. When you're playing rate cuts, etc., you guys got to be looking 6 months in advance. Right now, what you guys got to be playing is like the second order thinking of what's going to be playing out with the new Fed chair that's going to be appointed in 2026, and how the market is going to already be expecting Trump to be putting in a puppet that is completely under his control. And then you got to be thinking about, okay, wait, clearly Trump is not going to be doing that because everyone is going to be expecting him to do that. And if he does do that, it's going to be the market is going to have a negative reaction, right? So then they're going to be thinking, okay, because Trump expects us to be doing that, what is he likely going to be doing? He's likely going to be putting someone in place that kind of plays both sides, that makes both sides happy. It's got to be like brainstorming as to where the market is at and how forward thinking they already are. When I say forward thinking, I'm talking about more like how much are they already expecting today, right? So you got to be thinking at least 7 months ahead when it comes to rate cuts. Anybody who's talking about rate cuts today, they're just very behind, very behind. Come November, right? Come November, you're going to get an idea already of how the market is going to be pricing in what's to come for 2026, for the entirety of 2026. Okay, XRP. The thing about XRP is that people have been far too impatient on what, in my opinion, has been one of the cleanest charts for this entire consolidation and bullish period, right? It's one of the only charts that has given me the kind of confidence that, like, even Bitcoin at one point was underperforming XRP during the consolidation period, right? Bitcoin had lost key levels and XRP was still holding. And I think people just have, because a coin does something like this, where it goes up in a straight line for a month, right? They think that that's going to continue happening month after month after month after month. And crypto doesn't work out that way. People look back at, we were talking about this in Seed too, that, people look back at 2017 and all they remember, or maybe they're misremembering, or they look at the charts and the indexes and think that the cycle was just one big bull run of all coins just constantly running and never stopping. That's not how it played out at all. It was like 4 to 6 weeks of just craziness and then pain. And then again, 4 to 6 weeks of craziness and then pain, right? There were few winners that just kept going. And you'll find that in this cycle too. In this cycle too, you'll have something that keep running, and don't stop, right? But the market as a whole did not keep running in 2017, right? XRP2 over here, like, guys, from 50 cents to $3, how can you guys be bearish on this thing? This thing's doing fantastic. More importantly, when an asset does what it's supposed to do, remember, we marked out the zone. I didn't mark the zone out randomly, by the way. You guys saw me do it live. Came off this high over here, and these candle closes over here, right? Very simple. You can see how perfectly the market claimed it, respected it, and has been closing every single 4-day candle above it, right? So we were sandwiched between the zone, claimed it, respected it. So as long as we are, like, even if we break back into the zone, by the way, it's still not a bad. Like, XRP has so much leeway to be bullish that you're gonna have to listen, guys. Listen. Let me put it this way: the more bullish your asset is, okay, the more leeway it has for pullbacks. You can't have both. You just cannot have both. Okay, get it out of your head. You can't have just pure bullishness and no leeway for pullbacks. Just know that comes hand in hand, right? So because this thing is so bullish, you cannot really be bearish until it loses this level all the way down at 186, right? So what we can do is use the candle closes instead, mark our candle close, and then say, okay, this trend line is where I'm okay XRP coming down to. And as price progresses in time, this trend line is rising. So at the moment, you're looking at around $2.17. And as time goes on, the more it consolidates, right? Let's say this keeps going sideways like this forever. Your invalidation level goes up. That's how you need to look at markets. Where's my invalidation? Where am I wrong? Where do I turn bearish on this one? Okay, maybe you have a time invalidation. Maybe you're like looking at, okay, you know what? I'm missing out way too much on opportunity cost. Okay, and there are other assets that are moving. But that doesn't make this asset bearish just because other assets are moving, right? It just means that you have a time preference, and this asset is not living up to that. But XRP, because it's done this, because it did this, right? You can't have it both ways. The faster it moves away from its trend indicators, right? The more distance it puts away from it, the more leeway it has. Period. Right? So it goes hand in hand, guys. An asset that hasn't moved all that much, you can say that, okay, you know what, it's moved a small percent down after going sideways. It's done this. Oops. It's done this. I'm going to exit. But if an asset has done this, can you be bearish on this? No, that's a bull flag, right? Now, if an asset has done this, yes, you can be bearish on this. You showed me this structure and breaks down. You're like, okay, it's fine. This asset has not done much, so it breaking down or it moving down is bearish. But if an asset does this, it can come down even deeper. And I mean, I wouldn't like this. That's not cool. I mean, don't do that, XRP. This would be fine. Does that make sense? I love the way he trails into explanations that strike him, and all of them are on point. I'm glad you think so, Billy, because I often feel so bad about going off on these tangents. I'm glad some of you enjoy these, because I know there are many people out there thinking, why is this guy going on? Just give us the targets. I haven't given you guys targets for this. XRP targets. There we go. I'm going to draw a zone for you guys. 10, is that million? $10,000 to $20,000. Now, of course, I'm kidding. But I do want to talk about targets on XRP. But I'm not going to give you guys targets. So Krisha has already given you guys. I have a target right here, 11, right? My target's 11.43. But when pertaining to targets, I'd definitely go with Krisha's targets, because she's just on point with them. And people think that her targets are crazy. Maybe not so much anymore, because we're sitting at $3 and $20 is not even a 10x away. It's like 6x away from here, right? Why is that crazy, considering we've just XRP has done crazier things, right? I just want you guys to understand that in the euphoric stage, one of the strongest edges I've always had when pertaining to Bitcoin and any other asset in crypto is that people in the crypto markets, after long consolidation periods, they underestimate volatility. They misprice volatility. Volatility is always mispriced in crypto. Okay, what do I mean by that? Because we go in a sideways consolidation, compressed consolidation, people start looking at these assets in a linear mindset, as opposed to thinking about how they move in multiples. Crypto moves in multiples, all these percents and multiples, right? So if I had to ask you guys to think about how many multiples away is XRP from $20, you begin to realize that, oh, wait a minute, it's a 2x to 6x, and then another 2x to 12x. It's 2x to $6, another 2x to $12, and then just another 2x to 24. Wait a minute, that's 3 steps, right? And when you guys realize that getting that 100%, these 100% candles is not all that far-fetched, considering we went from 50 cents to $1. Just think about this, guys. When I show you guys this chart, right, you guys forget that it was just this bit that was 100%. Just this bit. Okay, let me just draw that out. From here to here, that's 100%, right? That means if I copy-paste this, we're looking at another multiple, and I copy-paste it, another multiple, right? So just this happening again puts it to 25. I'm not giving you guys a target on XRP. Krisha is giving you guys a target on XRP. But when you guys give her shit and give other people shit as well, don't do it based on fundamentals, because nothing fundamentally makes sense in crypto. Okay? You know why? Because the denominator is fundamentally not making sense anymore. Okay, with the amount of money printing that has been going on, understand. Okay, I was rereading Ben Bernanke's autobiography recently, and he was talking about how it was so much of a pain to get Congress to approve just $900 billion of approval in terms of money printing. Okay, $900 billion. It was a pain to get $900 billion approved. Think about how much we approve today. It's like 8 trillion, 9 trillion. Like, I forget what the balance sheet is sitting at right now. Like, things don't make sense when the denominators are not making sense. Don't assume for the market to make sense when we have euphoric mindset as well as euphoric denominators going downwards. Like, it's all going to go insane. It doesn't need to make sense. Whether you're an XRP bear or bull, it doesn't need to make sense. Just understand that bull markets don't make sense. Bear markets are where you can start making things make sense again. Don't do that in a bull market. Holy shit, good stuff, Ajay. 58x indeed. Okay, are we good? I think XRP could get to 24, 25 easy. And you know what? If it does get to 24, 25 easy without any kind of like let's say it gets there in a smooth fashion, like without it being too crazy of a parabolic move, just another multiple. It takes it to 50, right? So again, if I had to draw out my boxes for you guys, if it's done 3 boxes, why can't it do 4 boxes, right? Now, if you copy paste these guys, which is 1,827% from here, let's go ahead and do that. 1,827%. I need more space. Okay, this is the stupidest kind of TA ever done in the history of mankind. Okay, this is the stupidest kind of TA ever done. But this is what I've seen too many of. It's like $64, right? And I'm not saying these are my targets. I'm saying if you guys position in a way that discounts these targets, you will see pain. What do I mean by that? Because if you have the mindset of, oh, there's no way XRP is getting to $65, right? I'm not saying play for that. I'm saying make sure that you're not playing for that as an impossibility. Okay, you might be thinking that's the same goddamn thing, Sean. What the hell are you talking about? No. If you think XRP cannot get to 65 at all, there's no way. It means that you might be willing to put on a short position at 50, which could lead to a lot of pain, because 50 to 75, you're done. Okay, that's a 50% move against you, and you're done. Okay, so 1, you might put a short position if you're that hell bent on that not being possible. 2, you may sell all your XRP at 30 because you think 60 is impossible, right? So why would a 2x even be within the realms of something happening? And then you realize, oh shit, all I had to do was maybe leave 10% of my position and 20%. Did I really need to sell all? Right? Both of those situations are painful. Okay, believe me, guys, I sold an asset after I got a 10x on it in 2017, 2018, and then went on to do another 50x. No loss has pained me more than that, because that kind of win is forever life changing, right? You can come back from a loss. You can come back from a loss, right? As long as you don't freaking bet the home and everything, like you can come back from a loss. But that kind of win, especially back then, I hadn't like made it. I was like, what the F did I just? I'm like, Sean, all you have to do was leave another just 10% of your position on, just 10%. Right? Why do you guys think it's those kind of things that made me into the mango trader I am today? It was those losses. That was a loss, right? The lost opportunity. So yeah, bull markets can be painful, man. Okay, should I stop here? Oh, we haven't done. Oh yeah, we should talk about this altcoin. What do you guys think about this altcoin? And then we'll do requests and then we'll wrap up. Oh, Krisha's pulling the plug on me. Yeah, we'll just do 5 more minutes, guys. Santiago says, though I almost sold everything before Sean and Krisha came to rescue me with their videos. Hey, I'm glad we were able to help. Good stuff, good stuff. Sean, what will you be doing with profits to preserve your spending power? Will you hold on to cash or just trade the bull but keep accumulating Bitcoin? You mean trade the bear? Anything else? Tesla, property? I have been accumulating Tesla actually. And yeah, when it comes to property though, okay, listen, I'm not an expert on this, but in my mind, when it comes to property, you might want to be considering go do your own research on this. But personally, it'd be only luxury property in my mind that is worth trying to preserve your buying power in, right? Things that are likely not going to be made that easily, or it's going to be very, very difficult to be made easily. The kind of thing that people with money are willing to pay a premium for because the money is not that important to them, right? Those are the kind of things you want to be looking towards. But yeah, you meant the bear. I 100% be trading the bear market. The bear market is where I was born and made in the bear market. I'm the most comfortable in bear markets, so definitely I'll be trading. I'm already planning for it, man. I actually have notes and written down levels and everything drawn out for the bear market. I'm so ready for the bear market. I don't know when it's gonna come, but I'm prepared for it. Like, do you guys understand? The easiest trade was the bear market. Like, let's say Bitcoin gets to our targets, right, of like 150K. That's going to be the easiest freaking 10x. Like, because remember, guys, we got an around average of 16.8K to 19.1K, right? We accumulated our spot. This has been the easiest 10x, and 150K, yeah, almost a 10x, right? Let's say we get to 160K, yeah, it's gonna be around 10x. This zone here to this zone. Bear markets are so because you get to buy the least riskiest of the assets and put in a 10x. Not to mention, if you get a clean exit like this, you dodge all of this, get to buy back so much cheaper, and then boom, oh man. Do we get to do the same thing again? I don't know. We can hope for it. Okay, let's do requests now. Nobody seems to care about Bitcoin dominance over here, so we're not gonna talk about it. But okay, let's talk about it quickly, and then we'll do requests. Go to Bitcoin dominance over here. This trend line does seem to be coming to an end. Again, though, 22 days before the month closes, we don't want to count our chickens before they hatch. We do have the inflection point over here. We're going over the daily time frame. Does seem to be breaking down over here. Bear flag breakdown, honestly. If we actually do break back up over here and have another fake out, it's gonna be if Bitcoin does this, manages to pull something like this, I'm gonna feel really bad for altcoin folk. Mango, we don't need to do anything special because we were already positioned for ETH BTC. Remember, guys, because we had our target 2 drawn in from over here, from actually 2023. We drew it in around 2023 September. What do you know? September, my birthday. And we had a target all the way down to 0.001748. It took years to play out, but it did. Unfortunately, like I knew I would find a reason to not buy here, but we were fortunate enough to pull things together and buy in this zone over here. So we are fine. We don't need to do anything special. I will be looking to accumulate SUI though, but if we lose this zone, likely going to be out. So Bitcoin dominance, I know we're supposed to be talking about that. End up doing an entire summary, but all I'm going to say is this is breaking down. I don't need to do anything all that special because the coins that I'm currently already in are increasing my altcoin stash compared to my Bitcoin stash, right? So I'm okay with that. I'll keep adding into strength as I see it. But yeah, Bitcoin dominance does look like it's breaking down over here. This does not seem like this over here, right? This fake out wasn't a low high breakdown. This was a deviation and then a bounce back into the range. Over here, we bounced off the support level and now it looks like a breakdown. This is a downtrend on the daily, right? Bear flag downtrend, not just a downtrend. The downtrend was here. So yeah, this is not looking good for Bitcoin dominance. Let's do some altcoin requests now. We got a request for XLM from Santiago. Looking great. Long across the board. XLM Bitcoin. Looking great, yeah. When you have so many altcoins looking great against Bitcoin, it's telling you the story. XLM is to be played on the monthly. Bounce of the red zone over there. Weekly, bounce of the red zone. It got XLM, dude. Didn't we talk? You asked me about XLM, right? And we talked about this red zone. We got another retest of it a few days ago, man. So I hope you bought. So yeah. What was that? Yeah, so XLM looking great. Got another retest of the level. And targets would be around here, 55 cents. Targets above that, back to all-time highs. Likely see 64 and then 79.80. Okay. Any other requests? Do ADA. Yeah, we should do ADA. Let's go do ADA dashboard. ADA. Long. Blue volatility on the daily, but still neutral. 2 days long. Blue volatility. That's looking good. 4-day long as well. Flipped 4.5 days ago. Let's go look at ADA. It's looking good on the dashboard. So you guys want to be putting alerts on your dashboard? Oh, this is looking good. Consolidation. Bi-weekly though. Let's look at the 4-day. The zone is really important. If you can clear the zone on the 4-day consistently. Deviations. Gotta adjust this a tad bit. Come on, click. There we go. Yeah, that makes more sense. So what we're doing, guys, is that zone that we had drawn out over here was before we put in this consolidation, right? Now that we have this entire consolidation here, this M-like formation, we respected that zone with that M-like formation, right? You guys can see, I'm just going to explain what I'm doing here, and so just doing it. So we had the zone drawn out, right? We broke past the zone. We put an M-like formation into this zone over here that we had drawn out as resistance, right? If you guys remember, go back, watch the old videos. I'm not going to go through that again. Perfect M-like formation, bounced off it, right? Respected it, broke down, okay? So the zone was still marked out. We kept an eye on the zone, but now you can see that we put in a deviation. This was more like a bounce. What we're going to do is now use the neckline of the M, okay? So I'm going to delete the yellow. I'm going to take this red zone, put it up over here, and this we're going to keep, but we're going to push it out over here because that's our target. And what you're going to see is that this neckline was respected here, and was respected here as well. So this M, right, the butt of the W is being respected. So clearing this is likely going to take us to a target of $1.15. And if you can, this red zone is still important. This red zone was the zone we were looking at when we first smacked up against $1.20. Unfortunately, Cardano was not able to break past it. Still important. We're going to extend it. And $1.20 to $1.50 is our key level to break, key zone to break. If we can do that, we're looking towards $2.67 to $3. I'm looking at the bi-weekly dynamic for Bitcoin dominance, says Lance Morgan. Could possibly close below for the first time since Jan 23rd. Yeah, let's go look at that again. I think, oh, it's right here. I think I think we're breaking down this time, but I honestly just feel so. I don't want to say it out loud because it'll be us like trying to call a top over here, right? But the daily is what's making me think that, right? And the structure over here too. This is going to be like the ultimate FU if it doesn't. But we don't have the candle close, like you said, man. So 8 days, 11 hours to go. Positioning into strength in the meantime is still the way to go. Yeah, good call on this one, man. Jesus Christ, we've held it this entire time. Yeah. HBAR USDT. Okay, fine. We got 2 calls for HBAR from Gallon and Lance. HBAR blue volatility. I really like this. Long across the board. 13 hours ago, a day ago, 2.9 days ago. I like this. This looks fresh, right? Looks fresh. Let's go look at the chart. Probably on the monthly or the biweekly if you want to look at it, because these guys have been long for 20 days for almost a month. 4 weeks. Let's go find HBAR USDT. Look at the weekly first. Kind of bull flagging here on the weekly. Let's look at the monthly. This thing is still in consolidation, and if it does break, like, you know, it's a clean chart. Actually, no, let's do this. Let's just move all these move drawings. Let's go fresh. Let's go fresh. Mark out the high. Mark out the close. Put on the high over there. Mark out this candle close here. Consolidation. Okay, remember diagonal lines are just there for like your guidance, not to be used as an objective indicator. Now this is because it's a monthly, you might be able to get away with this. Oh shit, look at that respect on the weekly. Deviation. Okay, so if you start seeing candles start closing above this level here, guys, it's up here so you guys can see what I'm doing. Right, so if you can clear this level here at around 30 cents, I would start accumulating. In fact, like, if you're bullish on this asset and you want to slowly start accumulating, if you start seeing HBAR against Bitcoin, let's get a chart. Yeah, if you continue to see this kind of outperformance against Bitcoin, right? Only if slowly accumulating an HBAR position, preempting a breakout in the next few weeks, this could explode, right? So you could use like a Fibonacci retracement as well. $3 maybe, right? I'm not too big on fibs. Oh yeah, that points to 3 as well. So yeah, makes sense. All right, I think we can wrap up there. Remember, smash the likes, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. Make sure to join us on our Discord, themangoway.com/Discord. And yeah, ETH looking fantastic for 4,100. ETH BTC looking fantastic. SUI looking good. Not fantastic yet. Needs to break out of this range. This like nice W formation over here. And of course, Bitcoin. Bitcoin's looking. Let's see. Can we get to our targets? Can we get to our targets? I mean, the cyclical target, by the way, guys, is already hit. $120. Sorry, $120,000. That was our target from all the way down over here. Now we're just looking for extension. All of this is an extension past our targets. Oh, and one final note. For those of you who are in the Mango C program, I implore you, urge you, please go on over to the Seed exclusive content section in our Discord and watch the last prior 2 weeks of Seed Clubhouse session. Okay, so yeah, watch this one too. The one that we had this Thursday. But I know many of you guys have already watched that because you guys were there for the live. But several of you missed the weeks prior, the 2 weeks prior. Will be you on vacation too? Find the time to watch it. Ben, find the time to watch those two sessions. Are very, very important. Do not come up to me after and say, "Hey, Sean, I did not know, blah, blah, blah." And I cannot explain it in a quick like post, right? You need to watch those videos, both of them, okay? With that, keep it mango, keep it easy, keep it stress-free. I'll see you guys in the next one. Ciao, I love you all. Bye.